Hi, I'm Claudette. Welcome to my Creative Corner. Today I'm going to make a Z card, and I cased this card off of the Pampered Stamper. I saw her card on Pinterest. With this card I used the Night of Navy with the Birthday Memories Designer Series paper. I'm going to go ahead and use, instead of Night of Navy, I'm going to use Real Red. And using the same Birthday Memories Designer Series paper. And this Designer Series paper is retiring. So if you're interested in getting it, go ahead and check out my website. And we're going to be getting a new catalog come June, but in our present catalog, you could find this set is really a nice set on page 69. And you could get the birthday bundle, which comes with the stamps, the Designer Series paper, and the framelits die. And the whole bundle is for $62. The Designer Series paper itself is $11. And you get 12 sheets of the 12 by 12 papers. It's really a nice collection. Okay, so this is my template for my Z card. So on your base, you're going to have 8 strips of paper, 8 pieces of paper. And so your base, this is going to be your base, and it's going to be 11 by 4 1/4, 11 by 4 1/4, and then you're going to score it at 2 3/4, then 5 1/2. Okay, and then you have this. Then you're going to have another strip. So your strip is going to be 11 by 1 1/4, and then you're going to score it the same as your base, 2 3/4, and then 5 1/2. All right, and then that's how it's going to sit like this. All right, so that's 2 pieces of paper there. Then you're going to need some layering. So and this layering here is where you're going to use your Designer Series paper. Or you could use whichever paper you want, but in this case I'm going to use the Designer Series paper, Birthday Memories. And this piece is going to be 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Then you're going to have 2 pieces here, which is going to be the same measurements. And then it's going to be, those 2 pieces are going to be 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. Alright, and then on your strip, you're also going to need some layering. And that, for the longer piece of your layering, you want 5 3/8 by 1 1/8. And then you're going to need 2 pieces. And those 2 pieces for this section is going to be 2 5/8 and 1 1/8. So that'll give you a total of 8 pieces of paper that you're going to need. Alright, so on this I have the Real Red cardstock. And I already cut that. This is the base, so I already cut that by the 11 by 4 1/4. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and score it. So we're going to put it at 2 3/4. And what's nice about Stampin' Up trimmer here, it scores and it trims, but it has it in quarters, these lines, measuring line all the way down quarters, so you have more of a precise score or cut. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and score in 2 3/4. Then we're gonna bring our paper down at 5 1/2. Make sure it's measuring up all the way down. And then we're gonna score there again. Then we're gonna bring in our strip, and the strip was measuring, we already cut this, the real red, 11 by 1 1/4, and we're gonna score it the same as we did the base. We're gonna score it at 2 3/4. And then we're gonna bring it down at 5 1/2. Okay, now we're gonna get ready to cut our layers. And so the designer series paper here, we're gonna cut this here 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. So we'll measure it at 5 3/8. So we're going to measure there by the balloon 4 1/8. And then it will come down here again at 4 1/8. 1/8. Alrighty, good. I wanted to keep my candles in there. So next we're gonna need 2 sizes of this for our layering of our designer series paper, 4 1/8 by 2 5/8. So we're gonna use the leftover off of that with the balloons. So you want to make sure your balloons is laying in the right direction. So you want the 2 5/8 to be running this way, and then the 4 1/8 to be running lengthwise, so you'll have your balloons laying the correct directions. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and cut on this 2 5/8. And 5/8, and then we're gonna turn it and we're gonna cut 4 1/8. Okay, so we'll have the balloon running this way lengthwise. Alright, so we have a couple pieces left over. So what we're gonna need is what we have to do is now get the layer pieces for this strip of paper here. Alright, so on the longer piece we need 5 3/8 by 1 1/8. So this is the bottom of our grass, and we're just gonna use this, the opposite design, the balloons we're gonna use for the shorter piece, the 2 5/8 and 1 1/8, and we need 2 pieces of this. Okay, and the balloons, the leftover balloons, you flip it over. And that's so nice about Stampin' Up. Their designer series papers typically have design on both sides, and they're coordinating. So we're going to go ahead and cut the 5 3/8 in this strip, and by 1 1/8. And then 5 3/8 is going to be the length. And pretty much is at the 5 3/8 mark there. Okay. Then we're gonna get our short little pieces, and we need 1 1/8, 2 5/8 is the length. I guess that's pretty much it. And then we're gonna, it's already at 2 5/8. So then we're gonna go at 1 1/8. So we need another one like that again. The length is going to be 2 5/8. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do some stamping. So I'm going to put down a worksheet, some grid paper to keep our area neat. And Stampin' Up sell these grid papers, I think is 100 sheets for $11. And they have measurements on there in inches and centimeters, and you could use both sides. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and use Better Together, which is a big stamp set, comes in 2. And they have the happy birthday sentiment on that. And we'll get our block out. I believe this is block D. And we're going to be using the real red. Just hold that down a few seconds so the ink could transfer to our paper. And I'm using the Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that out with the Big Shot using this oval stitch framelit. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use the oval stitch shape framelit to cut out our sentiment, and we have that on the Big Shot. So the stitch shape framelits comes with 12 dies. You get 4 of the oval, different sizes, and 4 of the circles and 4 of the squares for $30. And so you can't go wrong with that, and really give a nice look to your work. That's a normal sound. Alright, there we have our sentiment. I don't know if you could see the stitch work on that. Alrighty, so next what I did is I went ahead and cut out some of the actual designs out of the designer series paper here. Alright, so now we already have our prep work. Everything is, I think, cut and stamped. So we're going to go ahead and crease along our score lines on a strip of paper on our base card. Okay. So this is going to be this way, so you want it to be folded along this way here. Okay, so that's how the card is going to be going in. So we're going to go ahead, fold those in and crease those. same thing for a base card. Just turn it along this way. This is how it's gonna go. Take our designer series paper. I'm gonna go get a multi-purpose glue and glue that on there. So again, all these products are by Stampin' Up. I'm using my silicone mat, and this is kind of nice because the glue doesn't stick to this. It rolls right off of it, peels right off. So you could use different adhesive, your snail or your fast fuse, but they're not as forgiving and can't move around your work as much. Sticks much quicker than the multi-purpose glue. It looks as straight as I'm going to get it there. Alrighty, look at all the small pieces here. And make sure your balloons are going in the right direction. Balloons are going in the right direction, and we'll get that in the center and make sure our edges of the other designer paper kind of lined up. Okay, so when you're doing this, this is how this one is going to stay like this. Okay, now we're going to take the strip and we're going to go ahead and layer our designer series card to that and do the adhesive to that as well. Alright, so that strip is completed with the designer series paper layered. We're going to go ahead and stick this strip onto the base, and I'm going to just put it up above the grass a little bit so it could break up the designer series paper. So you want to have the little feet showing somewhat going up the hill. So I think we'll glue it right there. that side is down. Make sure it's nice to the edge good, because you'll kind of buckle if it's not to this edge good. You'll have too much in the middle. Okay. And then glue this section down here. Alright, so now our banner is on, our little strip is on. We'll go ahead and decorate with the pieces we cut out. I'm not going to use all the pieces here. We have our sentiment, happy birthday sentiment. I'm going to use the little girl here. And our poodle. She's coordinating with her red bow. Marking it right here by this balloon. Have a little edge out here. Get my multi-purpose glue. And I don't want any glue to go to the back here, so I think I'm just going to glue down on the actual card itself. Looks about right. I'm going to glue just behind here. I'll glue her legs and a quarter way up on the dress. Next for my poodle. So I think I'm just going to glue him up to her, the neck. She has a bow, and I guess it's a red bow. Up to the neck there. And again, I'm using my silicone mat. You know what? I could have glued up to her head, because this part is not a moving part. See, it's just a stationary part right there. It's not moving, so I could glue down her head. Add a little glue Okay. I am giving away these 2 birthday cards. Included with those cards would be the envelope. If you're interested, please leave a comment down below. You must be a subscriber within the USA. The 2 selected people would be posted on my Facebook page on May 24, 2018. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in.